Ugh. Gross. Okay. No problem. All right. Okay. Well. Yeah, that might be a problem. Okay.
That's not what you guys expected for the start?
No.
That's the best way to start a show, I found out, is with that game. Hey, everybody, welcome to Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Let's see, what episode are we on today, guys? Episode number
155.
Thanks. It's not showing up for me for some reason. 155. Thank you all for being here. You guys rock in the chat, and we're gonna have an awesome show today. We got lots to talk about. There's gonna be a little bit of more Forza conversation here going on. We're gonna talk about more Starfield, of course. Also Final Fantasy. It's getting interesting. Maybe some hope yet in the realm of Final Fantasy. And there's also another Atlus game just got announced for Xbox. Wow. So we're going to have some fun conversations today. Tokyo Game Show's around the corner, so maybe there's some cool announcements on the horizon. But hey, let's welcome this awesome panel. First off, what's up, Pong? How you doing, bro?
Wow, start with me.
Well, you're
really?
You're leaving early, so
I am leaving early. Yeah, it's true. But why would you start with me? Intros don't matter. Anyways, yeah, I'm doing fantastic, except for my camera, this stupid flickering thing. That's annoying. PCMR, everybody. It's so beautiful. Anyways, what a great Friday. Jesus, I got gifted a freaking PS3. I got to find out if it works or not. But if you guys didn't see it, it is a fat boy. And
I still got my fat one.
It is it yours, the first one, the 60 gig?
Yeah, it still plays
yeah, it's got the backwards compatibility. Yeah, that's the unicorn. My buddy at work who started buying storage units. He started doing Storage Wars. And it's freaking amazing what this latest one that he got was a treasure trove. Whoever it was an entire family's storage unit. But the dude was a gamer and he was a collector, and he had a whole thing of like 1999 Transformers in their packages.
Oh, wow.
And it was the special edition ones. I forget which ones those are because I stopped following. But anyways, he turned around and sold he had like 10 or 12 in packages and had some dude drive over an hour and a half and paid him $500. And he only paid $40 for the storage unit. Wow. So he is way over. So he's not a gamer. And so he told me that he had two PS3s, one smaller one and one big one. I was like, send me those pictures. I show up at work today and here's this thing sitting on my desk. And I'm like, dude, what is it? He's like, well, you wanted pictures. I thought I'd just bring it in. He's like, it's yours anyways. Just take it. And then I looked at it and confirmed that it was an A01 Fat Boy. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I've made plenty off this unit. Just go ahead and take it. He's like, I'm not going to sell it. He goes, I did forget the power cord though. So he goes, I'll bring that to you on Monday. I'm like, absolutely. So that started off my Friday. And then just while I was driving home, I find out that Digital Eclipse is remaking one of my childhood RPGs, Wizardry, and it's in early access. I had heard nothing about this. I had become the dollar store oracle on living split screen. I swear to Christ. I had talked about Ultima a couple weeks ago, and Todd Howard is doing an interview and talks about Ultima and the influence that Ultima had on him in RPGs in general. And then last week, I think it was last week, and I brought up Wizardry. Because, when Steele's doing This Day in Gaming, we go through the history. I always have flashbacks and we talk about stuff. And I brought up Wizardry, and all of a sudden this pops up today. I'm like, excuse me, Wizardry is coming out. It's early access, $30 on Steam right now. They're redoing the whole thing, and it's Digital Eclipse, who has done very well in remaking older games. I'm like, I'm all in on this. So I made a post. I didn't tag Wizardry. I didn't tag Digital Eclipse. I just put Wizardry in my comments about it, that I was shocked and I was amazed, and that, Ultima, Might and Magic, and Wizardry were the three big ones from my childhood that had a lot of influence on my love for RPGs. Well, Mike Mika, the head of Digital Eclipse, liked my post and then followed me. I'm like, oh, I'm just winning all over the place today. So it's been one hell of a Friday. And Mav, I don't know how we talked as long as we did about Starfield last night. Yeah. And we did not bring up the music. We did not bring up the sound in this game. And that London orchestra performance, I watched that at work the other day. My God, Inan Zur just knocked it out of the park, man.
Maybe one of the best soundtracks ever, I think.
Yes, it is. It's one of my favorites in gaming now. He's got so many influences in that, and I've heard some of the reviewers talk about it as well, how many different images it brings up of different movies throughout the years. You can hear a lot of John Williams in there, but you can hear a lot of other movies too. But man, what a day. What a day. We got a panel. I do have to get out of here early to go pick up the kid from football game, but great to be here. Let's get going.
Right on, man. Alvin with the $2 super chat says, Pong, is it a 60 gig? Those are PS2 back compat.
That's exactly what I was just telling Jasper. It is the unicorn, sir. PS1 and PS2 back compat. The only thing I got to find out is if it works or not. That's it. So I'm going to get the power cord next week, and I will be updating everybody another whether or not it works. But that's the reason why I want it. I still have some of my PS3 games. I still have some of my PS2 games. I even have a couple PS1 games. I got Resident Evil 1 big box still. The original big boxes that they came in, which most people have never seen before. So yeah, I'm going to be checking this baby out. Hopefully it works because I'm excited. It's pretty damn cool.
Feel bad for the guy who had the storage.
Bro, you wouldn't believe what else his wife was selling. His wife was one of those. It's not. Oh God, I forget all the costume jewelry, but some of the big costume jewelry that they sell. Mav, obviously, you probably know. Caitlin knows. Caitlin probably will rat off 5 different brands right now. She was a dealer in that jewelry. He found boxes of jewelry that he hasn't even gone through yet. That shit is expensive as hell. He found brand new winter jacket for himself in there. Dude had 3 pairs of brand new Nike Air Jordans, all different kinds in there. He put those up and they were gone like this. One dude dropped like 3 bills on it. Just showed up and picked them up. My buddy didn't care. He's just like, I'm making so much money now. I don't care. Just take them. Go ahead. So yeah, this was a crazy find. He found treasure.
How the fuck you get that for $40 and no one else bid on it?
Because it didn't look like much. Like he sits at work now and does this too. And so he shows me, and because, I used to do, me and the wife used to resell. So I've seen a lot of used stuff, but we used to go to Goodwill bins and do this. So I've got a good eye on picking stuff out in these pictures. So he shows me all the time. This one didn't look like the greatest, but it was a 10 by 20 and you could see it was packed to the back. So you always got a chance, but I didn't see anything up front. But he just took a chance on it for $40. You usually find 1-2 items that'll pay for it. Sure enough, there's this whole treasure in there of everything. I'm like, Jesus.
And they don't let you go in and look. You have to stand outside.
And look. Actually, this is all online. So you're just looking at the pictures that they post online, and then you have to beat the person down there. So when an auction ends, the person gets notified who owns it, and they say, you got one last chance, pay your bill. Otherwise, this is it. And if you beat the person down there, even if the person wants to pay off the bill and keep all that stuff, if you beat them down there first and pay the whatever the amount was and you claim it, it's done and over with. It's yours. And then you've got 48 hours to clean them out. So that includes mattresses, all the garbage. It took him 2 days to clean this one out. So he had 3 loads to the dumpster, but he got all this other great stuff out of it. So it's pretty damn cool. It's fun.
Nice. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
well, I've seen on like YouTube where like people like scam those. They put like Home Depot like fresh cardboard boxes to make it look all nice.
Nice,
and
it's garbage in there.
Garbage in there.
Yeah, I know. There was another one where it was all it was video games. Dude had a shelf and he had just stacks of video games. He had a bunch of Wii U stuff. He had Xbox 360, he had Xbox One, he had PlayStation 4, games galore. And then he had all these other boxes that were labeled games as well off to the side. And then he had some posters. He had collectibles everywhere. That thing went for like $1,500. My buddy got out at like $800. I was like, you're taking a big chance. But I'm like, if you get it, I'm coming with you. I'm going through it.
Well, did you have anybody give you any magic PS3s this weekend or this week, Fuzzy?
No. I still have the I kept one of my original PS3s, which I gave to my son for like Christmas a couple of years ago, or his birthday, so he could play NCAA football on it. But no Magic PS3s. The state of play. I guess Sony insiders still don't know their head from a hole in the ground kind of thing. But the secret showcase, I guess, didn't happen. And it was another, I wouldn't say a stinker, but it was,
no
not
big
what,
surprises or anything like that, right? I mean, it was I think the big games showed well. I think like Spider-Man 2 showed well. I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth showed really well. But like other than that, it was like if they didn't have those two and they didn't show well, like it would have been a waste of time. And even those games like you expect to see again, right? So but yeah, I just can't believe how it started with that game. But like I'm not nothing against the game. I'm sure it'll be a fun game. It looks silly, it looks hilarious and stuff, right? It's just like starting any kind of show with that, like especially for PlayStation was hilarious.
I thought they were trolling us.
That's what it seemed like, right? Like that's why I put that video at the beginning of our show just to have fun with it. But
it was Dreamcast intro. Dreamcast guy. It was his intro, so it made sense.
Was it?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, because right.
I like how Mav didn't even get the joke.
Even though everybody in our chat last night on PM was calling it out. Yeah, Mav didn't get it.
I'm an idiot. I get it. Sorry. Woo! All right. Besides that, how you been, Fuzz?
Doing pretty good. Playing a lot of Starfield. I got I'm a crazy person. I got 3 games going. Pretty much I'm playing simultaneously. I got my original one where I'm level 51. I got my modded one, which I'm a 210 or something, or 201 or 210. And then I got a complete separate one that I'm starting a whole different approach. That I've got probably about 8 hours. Like I would say total, I think I'm at like 6 days and some change.
Jesus,
right now.
Fuzzy, God, retirement's so good. Oh God, I wish I was there.
6 days.
I got 4 days and I thought I was crazy. 6 days.
I don't even have 3 yet.
I think you're over 5.
Yeah, Caitlin's beating you.
Yeah, she's over 3 days. I got 65 hours in roughly so far. This is a lot for me. Like that's a lot for me. Like in any game. Right.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those up.
I try, man. I play when I can. It's just like, if I could just sit there and just do nothing but play Starfield, I would, because it's absolutely fucking incredible.
Yes, this is the SFDF right here, Lord Roughness. Shout out to you, brother, for tweeting us out last night too. That was awesome. And Dreamcast guys in the chat. Hi, Dreamcast guy.
Go. How are you doing, Jasper?
Pretty good. I'm at 5 days, 18 hours, 13 minutes in, and I think 3 of that's just in the shipbuilding menu. So
I can tell you haven't shaved in a while either.
Yeah, no. I'm like, this week I'm gonna do it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep playing Starfield.
You got like the Wild Bill mustache going on, man. Jesus, look at that thing.
And then that's just been playing Starfield. Got my shitty PlayStation 3 still. We had it for like 9 months, and we got the PlayStation version of the Red Ring, and we sent it back, and then we never played it again once we got it back. So it's like,
Yellow Light of Death.
Yeah.
I think Jasper has a future with Civil War reenactments with the way it is.
I think so too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wild West could be an extra for Red Dead 3.
I mean, sign me up. Where do I apply for that?
Doc Holliday here.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Welcome to Strawberry.
Right on. How you doing, Psycho?
I'm doing fantastic. Was for whatever reason my PC like totally signed me out of Twitter or X, so I had to freaking try to find my second what is it? Oh my god, I can't even speak.
Authenticator?
Yeah, thank you. I had to find that, so yeah, I'm a little late, but I'm here playing Starfield. I just stole a stiletto from the Ecliptics, so that was nice.
A shoe? You stole a shoe?
No, they have a ship. It's called the Stiletto.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's like it's just a shaft with the little rockets out.
Why do you have to use that word?
It's a shaft of rockets.
Why do you have
Yes.
to use that word?
Right on. You join like I'm just doing the Vanguard stuff right now. Vanguard quest
Yeah.
is so
Which
freaking good.
Yeah.
Vanguard versus Pirates or Vanguard versus
No,
other
I'm not
things?
doing this.
Vanguard
Not the
Pirates.
stuff. I'm doing the Vanguard, like Terramorphs or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where pretty much I'm a little bit past that. I married Sarah. But it's funny. I married her. She's so happy, but because the mission before, I was shooting innocent people, and she's pissed off at me.
Yeah.
Sounds like marriage.
Yeah. Yep. She's
Real
all
life
happy,
marriage.
like, "Oh, I love you," and then it's like, "What do you want? Whatever." I'm like, whoa, bitch.
I'm so
Listen.
glad I'm going to travel space alone in this game. Oh, God.
The storylines for those companions are really good though. Like I have I married Sarah too. And then
Don't tell
I
Cade.
and then I met Andreja, right?
Oh yeah.
And so then I told Sarah to go stay in the ship. stay in the ship. And then Andreja's been hanging out with me ever since. But her storyline
Sounds like real life again, Mav. Huh.
What? Her storyline is really good. So I got to experience both storylines so far, and like Andreja's is really cool. Like there's some like plot twists and stuff in there. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
You got that Gok 3000?
What is that?
Oh my God.
Can you?
Psycho play
proceed.
Starfield.
Proceed.
Is it? I've never heard to it referred that way before. That's interesting. Okay.
I like how it's funny that Psycho can perfectly say sex jokes all the time, but like when it comes to anything else, he's like,
Whatever that is.
Linda Khan, you know, like
Yeah.
he can't get a name right, but like, you know, body parts, you know, he'll the most scientific forms of those for sure. Anyway.
Clitoris.
Okay, yeah. Right on. Besides this, I think we got some stuff to talk about. Games, Xbox games.
Now MBG's in here too. Jesus. We got Dreamcast guy, we got MBG. Oh
Nice.
my God.
Hey, what an amazing
crazy.
Sony PlayStation showcase that was, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to PlayStation for such a strong showing. They literally
It wasn't bad. It was exactly what they said it was going to be.
They started it off with literally a walking
Anybody who
simulator.
thought it was going to be anything different than what they said it was going to be was kidding themselves.
I actually, to be honest with you,
100%.
it was based on what they had told us. It was better than I actually thought, because I didn't actually even know if they were going to show Spider-Man or Final Fantasy, because what they said was third-party VR and indie, right? So I was really only expecting third-party VR and indie, which maybe I was expecting possibly Final Fantasy, but they did end it decently with those other two games. But I would say the first, like, I would say, Pong, like, if it isn't for those other games they ended with, there's not a reason to even have the show.
No,
like,
no. Those
you
were
know what I
blog
mean?
post games.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
updates.
It's like that's the main thing is like, you set the expectations that it's going to be shit, right? And then you put out shit, but it's like, why even have the shit in the first place, right? So at that
because you do have to show something. They knew Final Fantasy VII revealed the release date would be a big deal, and they knew they could get away with it, right?
So we'll start with that game, right? Because this is an Xbox podcast, and there's reason to believe now that it's a possibility that Final Fantasy VII remake / rebirth, maybe the first part.
I saw you commenting at the end of that trailer, because that end of the trailer where it said like available on other platforms 5/29 or whatever. Yeah. If you go back to Final Fantasy 7, it's also, or 16. I mean, it's also in that. There's a 16 trailer that also has it where the 16 one says 12/31.
Right.
23.
So it's interesting though, because like on Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first one, they didn't advertise a date, right? They had it on the box or whatever, right?
Yes.
But it wasn't with the marketing. So Final Fantasy 16 also it's only going to be a timed exclusive, right? Is what we're assuming. Maybe it'll just come to PC, maybe not Xbox. We don't know, right? But there's hope for Xbox gamers. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, which I am, I actually really liked Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. That maybe in May or June or whenever, sometime middle of next year, maybe get Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 and 2. Because I don't think they would just release Rebirth without releasing the first one, right? So I would think they would do like it a month apart or both at the same time. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I reading too much into this date thing? I mean, it seems like it's there for a reason, right?
I mean, we kind of like, I heard rumors that they were either going to do the Rebirth and Remake together or wait till the third one comes out. But from what the relationship that Phil Spencer kind of brought back with the new president at Square Enix, this could very well be timed until that, what was it, March or May?
It's March. All right, sorry,
Okay,
May. No, May 29th.
Yeah.
May
Final
29th.
Fantasy VII Part 2 ends in May 29th.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
16
So
ends in December.
Maybe
31st.
at E3 we get a Xbox announcement that it's coming to, because that's, if it's after May 29th, you're literally right in the back end of E3 or whatever, the Xbox Direct, if they're going to do something like that again. But anyways, they could announce it there, that it's Remake and Rebirth is coming to Xbox. Not saying Game Pass, but coming to Xbox. So it'd be very interesting. It could very well, what Phil Spencer and I forget the gentleman's name, kind of hinted that their relationship of bringing games could be these two games, because a lot of Xbox gamers would want to try out Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth.
Yeah, I would be more excited for those than 16 personally, right? They're more my kind of Final Fantasy games. So.
Yeah, I don't want 16.
Fuzzy, do you think there's a reason why the date's there on the actual end of the trailer? Because it seems like it's a Square thing to put it there, not a Sony thing, right? Because I wouldn't imagine Sony would want that to be there, obviously.
Well, it's weird. It's only on the Sony trailers. It's not at the end of the Final Fantasy trailers on their own site.
Right. But maybe, like, that's what I'm saying, though. It's at the Sony showcase. Maybe, like, Square's, like, predicating that we need to make this clear that it's going to be available other places. Which is strange to me, because you don't see that with any third-party companies. Any showcases really do that on their exclusive games or timed exclusives or whatever. Even it's usually like we have to guess and look into it or whatever, but they're like putting it there for a reason. I would think, right?
Well, after Square lost $2 billion in value over this past year and stuff, and the new relationship they have with Xbox and Microsoft as a whole, I think they probably want to make it clear so that way some of their, or at least these titles, or the second part for Final Fantasy VII doesn't take as much of a hit, possibly like what Final Fantasy 16 may have. So, I at the least, it's definitely coming to PC in that time frame, with a big hope that it also comes to Xbox, considering how they put Phil on stage with the Final Fantasy 14 announcement, and requested applause and all that stuff for him. So I think Square now at this point wants to kind of make up for some of the bad decisions of the previous CEO and stuff, but we'll see. I'm hopeful, but I'm not holding my breath at this point. Although it would be nice if it's like a Tokyo show, games show announcement next week, but usually they would save an announcement for beforehand or after like a certain date, so
Mhm.
it wouldn't be announced, before when it's just coming to the the paying platform to get the timed exclusivity. And it's, oh, by the way, it's also coming to this one in 3 months or time. So that wouldn't necessarily happen, or I haven't seen anything like that happen in the past. But stranger things have happened. Like we might get an announcement that Microsoft is setting up to acquire Square, considering that $2 billion loss, and the fact that Sony hasn't really made an attempt to buy, which I guess why would Sony buy Square at this point when they get basically everything that they want? They're draining them of their resources. So it's not like they have to pay for, to own the building and the rights and all that. They just, pay like, rental fees and get what they want out of that. So we'll see. But
Alvin with the $5 super chat says Final Fantasy VII Remake gets announced at Tokyo Game Show for Xbox, or I'll send a $50 super next FSP. Right on. You're on. I don't know what I have to do if it doesn't, but no, I appreciate that, Alvin. I'll be looking out for that though. We'll see. I think that they do have some stuff in store for Tokyo Game Show.
Well, if it's that, like the thing with Deathloop where they can't talk about it because it's still under exclusive contract with Sony, we wouldn't hear about it until later, I would assume.
But would part one, I think Alvin means remake, not rebirth, right? I think it'd be too early personally for Rebirth to be announced at Tokyo Game Show for Xbox, because it is 3-month exclusive at least, right? So I don't think Sony would go for that. I think it'd probably be part of the contract for the marketing and stuff of the game. That's why they're paying for the 3-month exclusivity. It is interesting it's only 3 months though. That's a lot shorter than Final Fantasy 16, and obviously shorter than Final Fantasy VII Remake. So 3-month time period is not that long, right? To have to wait. So we'll see what happens with that, but I think maybe Remake Part 1 could maybe get announced at Tokyo Game Show, and potentially the end of this year even.
Did it come out on PC this year, or was that last year?
I don't know.
Because they may be like doing a thing where like every year they like first year's PlayStation, second year's PC, third year's Xbox, something maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be thinking too much into it.
Yeah. It's a good thought, It's going to be interesting to see what happens with it, because Square is obviously making different decisions right now than they have in the past. Seeing that 3-month timeline on it, I think gives like a inclination of a different strategy for Square going forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some kind of renegotiation that may have took place with Sony about that, because of the losses that Square's been taking, right? Like saying, hey, look, we can't afford to do this anymore. Like, we're going under. Our last game didn't meet sales expectations, and why do we expect this one to sell more than that one, right? So we need to sell more copies than the first game. But how are we going to do that unless we release it to more places? So I feel like there may have been some kind of talk with that, or maybe there's some kind of stipulation in the contract about meeting sales expectations for the first game that would dictate the exclusivity on the second part. Who knows? Theories. But do you think that Alvin's right? We get Remake Part 1 Pong this year, or announced at Tokyo Game Show?
Well, I mean, it's possible. If let's put it this way, we'll just assume that the original deal was not extended, that it did just expire, but it was because of Square Enix's former CEO, that they just made the choice not to bring it to Xbox, even though that the deal had already expired, because they didn't think it was worth their time. Let's go by that assumption. And let's say that now they just announced Final Fantasy XIV coming to Xbox. So yeah, at the Tokyo Game Show, again, Phil's going to be there. Sarah's going to be there. All the higher ups are going to be at Tokyo Game Show again. And Phil came out this week and did that kind of tweet post, that video where he was talking about how excited he was to be back at Tokyo Game Show yet again, and that they had a lot to talk about. So yeah, I mean, how much bigger does it get than to announce that, hey, Square now has this new CEO. You guys just saw me up on stage, shaking hands, holding hands. Everything's great. The CEO said, we got big plans for Xbox, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's really what he was saying up there, that they had future plans with Xbox, that they wanted to bring more games to Xbox. My God, you're at Tokyo Game Show. Hell yeah. Announce that thing. Even if it's off in the distance, even if it's something that you guys just started working on or just kind of got the deal done, yeah, you make that announcement. So yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility that the first one does get announced at Tokyo Game Show. Be a big moment again, on top, right off the back of Final Fantasy XIV finally coming, which was one of Phil's promises that's, had kind of lingered and kind of started rotting because people were like, what happened to that? So if he got that done, there's no reason why, unless Sony's got more exclusivity with the first one, that he can't get this done. And of course, it'd be a big moment for them. So yeah, I think there's definitely a big possibility that does happen on stage at the Tokyo Game Show. I think it would be something special for sure. It would mean big things for Square. Square needs something right now. Right? They need something to excite their stock, the shareholders. They need something to say, we're moving in a different direction than what previous management had us doing, which has led up to this point where we just lost $2 billion in value. We need to do something different. Yeah, you make that announcement there and you say, we're coming. I'm the new guy. I'm the big dog now. I'm going to take us in a new direction, and that means including Xbox in our releases. Huge moment.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think that, it was interesting to see Phil already do a little promo thing. Like, it's like a week ahead of the show, and like, usually like they make tweets and stuff, Well,
that was like a 30-second video. It took him 5 minutes.
I know. I'm not reading too much into it, but I did find it interesting that he had a little video like saying, hey, everybody, like, gonna be at Tokyo Game Show, excited for our partners and the games and stuff we're gonna have there. I'm not saying, oh my God, Phil Spencer showed up, they're gonna show so much shit at Tokyo Game Show, but it is a little different than I remember them doing things in the past with Tokyo Game Show.
I know they also tweeted out, I think it was last week, that he said that they're going to Brazil this year for like Xbox Fan Fest or whatever down there. So
they did you remember, was it earlier this year or last year, they did some kind of developer, for international developer panel thing, and brought in a bunch of developers from around the world and met with them and stuff like that too. So they're really trying more in the past, but with Japan and some of these other areas to really get things going. So maybe we'll see some fruits of the labor. There is another game from all the work they've been doing that just got announced as well. Another Atlus game. Remember, it wasn't too long ago that Atlus just always skipped Xbox, right? Every time, whether it's Persona or whatever, it's never came out to Xbox. Now we have Persona, 2 more Persona games hitting this year, right? And then we have this new game, Unicorn Overlord, that was just announced at the Nintendo Direct.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, that's a Pong and Mav special right there.
That is.
that one is going to be talked about on PM and the PM a little bit, guys. I know some of you guys hate turn-based games and tactics games, so you'll have to listen to us slop all over that game. But we're gonna be talking about it.
We're gonna be slopping.
We will
a lot.
Yes, about Unicorn Overlord, because it's coming to Xbox. Holy shit, we're getting another Atlus game, a brand new IP.
First time for Vanillaware too, coming to Xbox.
Yeah.
First game. That's big.
It's awesome, bro.
Big.
It's interesting to see this change. This generation is different. It reminds me more of the 360 generation, with the kinds of games that are coming. Anybody else looking forward to Unicorn Overlord? No? Yeah, the takers in here on the panel? Psycho, maybe? No?
Yeah, I'm always down for a good, you said RTS style?
It's tactics.
No, it's tactics.
Oh,
yeah.
It's good, like Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign me up. So
Yeah, it is fantasy tactics too. They made sure to put that. They were really going after the Final Fantasy Tactics players there. You know,
good because Square ain't doing shit about it.
you guys remember when people told us that the cloud deal that they made with Sega, this expanded partnership, was nothing more than just a cloud deal? Y'all remember when people were telling us that, hey, we're reading too much into this thing with Sega with this new announced partnership that they had? I remember.
I remember us talking about it, Mav.
We're getting so much shit now, man, from Sega.
It's no big deal. It's nothing. It's nothing. They're just helping it with cloud. That's all they're doing, man.
They have
doesn't mean anything.
Day one games. They've had all this other stuff, man. Games coming to console and Xbox never before. Atlus all in on Xbox. Hey, Xbox is gonna be Atlus's lead platform. It seems like. I mean, holy crap. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but no, it seems like it though, man. It's like, and I think
Atlus with Persona and with they're kind of taking the place of what Square used to be worldwide. In a lot of ways. Final Fantasy has seen its dip in popularity. Again, I'm not taking away from the franchise. I grew up with the franchise. Okay, I'm not taking away.
No one's buying it anymore.
Right. But Atlus is on the rise, and Persona and their games are on the rise, whereas Final Fantasy is falling off. So yeah, Sega's going full boat with Atlus as one of their prime devs because they know that's a moneymaker right there. So absolutely, Mav, you are correct. Atlus is definitely one of the top devs over at Sega, and Sega's really pushing their stuff hard right now. It's good sign. It's a good sign.
Sorry.
You sound like me.
I know. I was trying to get a syllable out, and it was always the wrong one. The other thing is we're going to see more of these different deals being made from all these different companies soon. I feel like, because they keep making different deals. They just announced that other game from Capcom too at the E3 show, which is a brand new IP, right? Was there a Bandai Namco one there too? Or it
was a DLC for Tales of Arise
at the Sony show, right?
Correct. Yep.
What about at the Xbox show? Was there a Bandai Namco game? I feel like there was 2 games there. Was it just the Atlus stuff I'm thinking about?
Did we get a Bandai? Did they announce something new there? I don't think so.
Yeah, so Xbox got that new but it was a Capcom game that kind of looked like
Capcom. Yeah, we know Capcom. We're talking Bandai Namco.
Yeah, we had the Capcom.
The only two the only few Asian games there was Persona, then there was the Capcom game, and then there was like a dragon or whatever.
Okay, yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any other like Asian style games that would be there. Maybe I'm forgetting one, but
what was the Capcom game called again? It was like
Path of
the Goddess. Path of the Goddess.
Thank you. There you go. Yep. Right. Combined forces right there.
Yeah, nice. It looked really cool, man. Like, I want to see more of it. Maybe this will be the place we see it at Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, maybe.
I was surprised we didn't see Rise of the Ronin at the PlayStation show.
Yep.
I wanted to see that. It ain't
ready.
Yeah, it's not ready.
We didn't see Stellar Blade.
We also didn't see an update from their other 2 first-party games supposed to come next year, Concord and Fair Games.
Nope. They're not ready to show. They're not ready to show. And Stellar Blade's been put on back in the cooking, back in the oven again. I don't think we're going to see Stellar Blade till next year again.
Do we think that those other games, Fair Games and Concord, actually launched next year?
They had 2024 dates on it, but I mean, it could just be
as long
as over under. What's the over under on this? Whether they actually hit in 2024?
I think one of them does.
Marathon will, right? Marathon will,
right?
But Bungie's got to give the blessing on the other ones, right?
I don't. So do you think Marathon actually? I don't know. Did Marathon have a date?
No. But I think Marathon is next year. I think Marathon
because they got their big Destiny DLC next year at the beginning. Yep. So I don't know if I would assume Marathon would be like February or March of 25.
What's that other Bungie game they're making? The
there's Gummy Bears and there's
Gummy Bears.
Matter.
Right, Gummy Bears. Which game is it that we feel like was worth it for Sony to buy Bungie?
Gummy bears.
It's still Destiny.
It's Destiny.
That was the only game. That and their knowledge of live service games. That was the whole thing.
So they just brought him there to be the enforcer for live service and to
pretty much,
and watch them kill factions and a few other titles.
And that's something else that nobody's talking about, the fact that Factions wasn't there. Again.
I think
would
people
it be?
have given up on that.
Who thought it was going to be there? Nobody.
But that's the thing. That's like an acceptance. There's like people have accepted the lack of
It's like Beyond Good and Evil or Skull and Bones. You just
they got told. They got told flat out it wasn't good enough. They've all read the articles. They all know it's the truth. Obviously Bungie says no.
Does it ever come out?
There's that secret showcase. Don't worry. It's
does it ever come out?
Does Factions
not
ever
as
come out?
you knew it?
Not as we knew it.
I don't think so. I think I think that they probably pulled the team for whatever Naughty Dog's working on, if that's Last of Us Part 3 or whatever the case may be right now, or their new IP that they supposedly had in the works. I think they probably pulled the team after that and said, we'll come back to it. I don't think Sony or Naughty Dog are going to spend the time on it.
So
money.
Maybe
Last
if they
of Us
do
Part
the
3.
I think they still have to do Last of Us Part 2 on PC, right?
Yeah.
Eventually.
So they'll throw in a HD version of the original Factions and call it done, and then watch nobody be outraged.
Maybe Fuzz. Maybe. I just think that they're just going to step away. I think they're going to say, we've got all these other studios. We've got all these other third parties that we are paying to create live service multiplayer games. Naughty Dog, go do what you do. Right. I just, even though they promised it, even though it's something that a lot of Sony fans want, shout out to Steel. I just don't think that they waste the time and money on it. I think that they've looked at it, and when Bungie said, nope, this ain't going to make it, I think they just pushed pause, pulled the team off, put them on more important projects, and said, we'll come back to it if we got a chance, but we'll let all these third parties deals kind of, come to fruition and see how they work out before we go back to Factions. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong.
At the same time, though, like Last of Us is their big IP that they've pushed into multimedia. Like they got their game and they got their TV show, so that's the one that they're trying to push. And you would think that they would want to push that with a multiplayer live service thing.
But if they can't do it, they can't do it, right, Jasper? And again, Sony's not about to have a failure of a Last of Us title out there, even if it is multiplayer. They don't want to tarnish the brand either, right? So they're going to be risk adverse, in my opinion. Again, it's all just speculation. In my opinion, they're going to be risk adverse, and they're going to say, Naughty Dog, go do your, Last of Us Part 3. We'll get the PC version of Last of Us 2 out, like Fuzzy said. But we're not going to tarnish that
but they'll sell you the game 14 times.
Yeah, because it's not risky to them, right? It's guaranteed to them, is what they think. Now, they've found out real quickly that you can't put out shitty PC ports. I mean, they're finding out the reality that PC, you got to be, the game that comes out, the quality's got to be to that level. Otherwise, a PC fan base is going to be like, yeah, no, we're not playing this shit. F you. So, I think that they're learning their lessons. That's why I think Factions probably has been put on hold permanently. I just, from that statement they made, I just get the real feeling that they just said, okay, no problem. We don't need it. We already broke our promise. Fans already are okay with it. They already know. So we'll just move on. I really think that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Or we also did get that concept art, not last Summer Games, but the one before that. Yeah. So maybe they just rebooted the entire fucking thing.
And that would be the other possibility, is reboot it, but we'll see.
Yeah. I found a tweet that I had made back on May 9th. And I got a lot of shit when I made this post from a lot of PlayStation guys and stuff. It said PlayStation has a first party games problem this year. Now the PlayStation 2nd showcase has happened. Now, granted, that was May 9th. That was before E3 season, or non-E3 season, whatever you call it. That was before the second show and all this stuff. Since then, Stellar Blade, silence. Since then, Helldivers 2, which is something I'm actually excited to play,
That was the best game to show Jay
has
yesterday.
been pushed to next year as well.
Yep.
The third-party releases, they had Final Fantasy 16 exclusive, which was to many a good game, so that was a win there, but it wasn't first party. And my post was about first-party games, right?
You believe they were the way it's defended, though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like
Christ,
100%,
mighty man.
yeah.
Holy cow. Don't say anything about the sales. Holy shit.
About Square? Yeah. Oh, they're like,
yeah.
Those
It came out to a strong start, but
somebody
underperformed.
was comparing the articles about Square to the
Yes.
Starfield articles. And saying like, oh, like, what are you? They're making trash articles about Square. Also,
Oh
like,
my god, that's not first party, bro.
It was like, really, like,
yeah,
and it's, my god. But is it official that Sony only has one first party game this year?
Yeah, it's beneficial.
Didn't they have some at the beginning of the year?
No.
They haven't had anything since God of War in November of last year.
Correct.
That was their last first party game.
And they, like you said, they crucified Xbox last year for not having a game in last year. So we're almost a year from last game to next. No difference, just because it's one game. There was a window, and that's Xbox didn't have a game in that window. Sony also does not have a game in that window, but yet there's not a peep. There is not an article written like, oh, PlayStation's in trouble. They should just sell off and retire from fucking making video games. Nothing. But yet here, Xbox, you'll fucking get 20 fucking news articles. You'll get like 5 different blogs and Reddit posts and fucking all the stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
Jesus. Thanks, Cycle, for pausing Starfield for that. Appreciate you.
But
they did launch PlayStation VR this year. I mean, that was a big thing for them.
Yeah, no, they've had VR 2, which again is supposedly considered first party. And Antonio Newman, did I get Antonio? Yeah, Antonio Newman did point. They did have MLB The Show. I guess that's still technically first party.
It's multi-plat though, yeah.
But it's multi-plat, but it's technically first party. So I guess
Game Pass. I'm sorry, but when your opponent or your competitor like gets a better value on
game, we gotta be fair. Like, we did the same shit with Xbox. We grasped for straws. We like as dusk falls, it's first party, bro, or whatever.
We gave Xbox shit for this last year though.
I'm just saying you gotta be fair though. Like, people were grasping for straws with Xbox last year too. It's like, dusk falls counts.
But, it did count because it was published by Microsoft.
It's published by Microsoft,
right? It is a first-party game, right?
Yes.
Now, I would say that Spider-Man alone is worth more than all 3 first-party games Xbox released last year.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. Yes.
So that is
it's a big game.
Better than what Xbox released. Technically, Xbox last year released Grounded officially. Because it came out of preview, they released As Dusk Falls
and
Pentiment. So that was the 3 first-party games last year. This year, Xbox has like fucking 10 or something. It's crazy this year. They're all over the place with releases, and they've had a couple big ones, and they still have another one on the horizon, right? Last year they did have third-party deals, and they also had third-party games come into Game Pass day one and stuff like that, and they had third-party exclusives, right? They had some more this year also, but there's not enough discussion about the output of Xbox this year versus the output of Sony.
Of course not.
And how much Xbox is killing it with the content pipeline versus what Sony's been able to produce. One game for a first-party studio is a first-party platform is not going to cut it. If I didn't have all these other things, if I only owned a PS5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was just okay, I bought into next gen. I just wanted to buy a PlayStation 5. This is where I've been sold on.
Can you imagine you be watching Starfield on YouTube right now, Matt?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
The generation starts when we say it does, right? All these things, right? If I had that's all I had, I would be so fucking disappointed this year. Right? I would be like, what am I doing? What am I
Or
doing?
would you be busy
know?
playing third-party games that have been great this year and doing the same thing that we talked about when it came to Xbox? We criticized them, but we also said we got plenty to play because there was so much third party. There was so many good games. That's the reality.
And now is a better year than ever to have that break.
Right. It is, Jasper. But even last year was a great year third party wise. I mean, sure, it didn't have the volume and the quality that it does this year, but there's always something to play. That's the thing that people always forget about. They always talk about this stuff. But you're right, Mav. There hasn't been, and everybody here knows it, and everybody in chat knows it. There will never be that fair slice of criticism given to Sony or even given to Nintendo. Nintendo's killing it this year, so it doesn't matter. But there will never be.
Or
even they get to get out of jail free
for the
card.
amount of games Xbox released this year.
No, they won't.
Without you don't even have to look at Sony and criticize them. But like, there's no discussion. I don't see any articles or anybody talking about, wow, Xbox released a lot of games this year, first party wise, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo is too, right? Nintendo's killing it this year also. Like,
correct. Oh, they're crushing it, bro.
If
you're a Nintendo fan, you are eating good.
Yeah, you made a good point on PM of the PM. It's like they're just dumping everything out before the Switch 2, right?
Correct.
So they can resell it when the Switch 2 comes out.
Correct. Thank you, Jasper. Yeah, Jesse B points a good point too. We were playing a lot of third-party titles on Game Pass, whereas as a Sony fan, you wind up paying full price for those games as well, right? So that is a big difference. And Jesse B, it's a great point. That was another bonus for Xbox,
and a lot of them day one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It said like what PlayStation got two things. They got three things this year. They got PSVR, which is expensive as shit and has hardly any games to play on it.
There's a million games, bro.
And when they come out, the count as first party exclusives, even though less than 1% of PlayStation gamers have access to it. And then also you have Spider-Man 2 hitting, and then you had a subscription service price increase. That was the three big things for Sony.
Well, because they got Saints Row though this month, so
big win.
They had to pay for that, man.
Here's the thing. Why does VR or PSVR 2 count as a, platform or first party exclusive, considering a lot of those games are the same ones that you can play on the Quest?
Well, they're not. I don't because you can't play them if you have a PS5. You have to have a PSVR 2. Like, it's a PSVR 2 is the platform for me, right?
It's the weirdest thing ever.
Like,
bro.
not the PS5. You have to have a PS5 to have access to the PSVR 2, but if you own a PS5, doesn't mean you get access to those games, right? Like, you can buy them, they ain't gonna do shit. You can like pretend to play them, I guess.
I mean, it's just cheaper to buy them on the Quest 2 or wait for the Quest 3. I mean, that way
they
you
do
don't
have
need a
Horizon
PS5
and some other like actually exclusive games from their first party.
Yeah,
studios.
You had GT7, the update for that, and you had the Horizon game. Everything else is everywhere else.
Yeah, but it's, as I was saying, like, it's only for the PSVR 2 owners, like, which is how many people own one?
Less than the particles of dust it collects on one.
It's less than 1 million. Did they break 1 million yet?
Yeah, supposedly, I think it has. So
1 million. Okay, so there's about there's about 1 million.
Probably closing in on 2, maybe.
Okay,
if they're lucky.
2 million.
I didn't even think they reached 1 million. I thought it was like still around 600,000.
No, those numbers were proven to be false. Those initial numbers of 550,000 sold or whatever it was. They shipped 2 million, right? So they made their mark there. I gotta imagine they're in the millions, but it doesn't matter if it's 1 million. It's still a small percentage. I mean, and people aren't. I see some people talking about the games, but I just don't see, again, because it's niche. It is what it is. It's niche, and for some reason they've latched onto it and said, "Oh, nope, first party exclusives." Bro, come on, man. Like Mav said, paying an extra $500 on top of your PS5 to go play those games. Come on, man. It's not. You can't count those. That's not what we're talking about here, and you guys all know it. It's just more stupidity.
Yeah, but anyway, it's interesting. The part of me thinks that, like, what if they didn't have it? Would they have had more games this year for their regular consumers? Right? Because, like, part of the concern for me, like, one of the reasons I don't want Xbox to make a VR headset that's a dedicated headset is because I don't want a Kinect situation happening again where it's like, hey, you guys need to make us some VR shit. You guys make us some VR stuff. You guys make us some VR stuff. And then it's like, okay, I would rather than be making a regular game, you know, like instead that we actually like and more people care about. And
Also, I think with the VR stuff though, it's a lot quicker turnarounds than like the actual AAA stuff. So you would still be waiting, I think, for a game. Like at least this way they did have something come out. Whereas like if they were actually still making a big AAA game, that probably would come out for another 2 years. Whereas VR stuff, you can turn that around a lot quicker.
right, because it's shit and it's just shovelware.
Yeah, it's because it's like small 8-hour experiences and stuff.
Oh god.
Yeah, just up-res it for the PSVR 2. Take a Quest app.
Like I said, take out Insomniac Games and man, Sony's lineup. Whew, boy, Insomniac is just, my god, they're killing it.
Yeah.
They without them though, oh boy, there'd be some massive holes in some of their lineups, right? So without Ratchet and Clank, I mean, you take out a lot of different games, and again, they wouldn't have Spider-Man 2 this year. So that would be a complete miss.
They would have had nothing in what 2021. Ratchet and Clank. It was Ratchet and Clank, the remaster of Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So that was 2020. So they pretty much
had GT 2021, did they?
2022.
Or was that 2020?
2022. Yeah.
2022. Yep.
But they did not. Insomniac didn't make GT.
Well, you were saying they would only have one game or whatever. So I was like, would they have other studios?
Last year they had God of War Ragnarok, GT7. Yep. They had Horizon Forbidden West, and
in 2021 they would have not. They only had Horizon and Ratchet and Clank. That's it. So they. And MLB The Show, but it was also on Game Pass. So,
but
and Returnal that year as well, right?
Yeah.
But they weren't purchased yet. Same thing with Demon Souls. Bluepoint wasn't purchased yet.
Yeah,
correct.
But they didn't make them for anything else. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
It's interesting though. Like
it is.
Like Xbox was in that. The reason I'm bringing this up for comparison, and it's not just to like shit on Sony, but it's like you can really see the acquisitions and everything that Xbox has been doing, like starting to really show up, right? It took a long time. Last year was rough. 2021 was great. They had a lot of output there. Some big games. You had Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite launched. You had some other games as well hit in 2021, but and 2022 is like such a letdown, as far as content. But this year it was like they just caught up and times 10. It was like tons and tons of games, and they had their down times like with Redfall and stuff like that, right? But Starfield's a massive hit. It's a success. Masterpiece. Also, you have Forza Motorsport around the corner, about to come out. You still have your big third-party games as well hitting. And then Game Pass deals like crazy. This year's probably one of my favorite ever for Xbox, and just for first party wise, like little things. There was 3 shadow drops this year. 3 shadow drops for like little like indie or smaller titles or whatever. You had Quake 2, you had Hi-Fi Rush. You had Age 4 console, right? Only issue is there's so many other damn games. 2023 is so fucking crazy that like there's not enough time to play everything. If half of these games came out last year, it would have been amazing. Yeah. If those 3 games came out last year, that would have been amazing, because last year I was playing Power Wash Simulator for months, guys. I mean, there was last year was a wasteland. It was a wasteland for third party too last year. Third party and first party for Xbox was rough. Like you had Nintendo and Sony had good years, but besides that, it was bad. 2023 is like insane though, right? So, it'd be interesting to see how 2024 goes. And I think it's just more. The crazy thing is though, was as good as this was this year, I think it's just like a sign of things to come.
I don't think we get 10 Xbox games again next year though.
I think I think that they're catching up there, but I think you get big games every quarter.
I think you get bigger games next year, but you don't get as many.
I think you get 4.
You get at least 4 big games, but you're not getting like a hi-fi and then 2 more Age of Empire. You're not getting all the kind of smaller
You
stuff.
Contraband. You could get Contraband next year. What else is out there that they got third party?
They'll probably do.
When is Towerborn? Towerborn's next year.
Next year, yeah. Flight Sim 2024 is next year. So yeah, you have Flight Sim, you have Towerborn. You get, pretty much count on Hellblade 2, I think. Yeah. For next year.
Avowed, more than likely.
Yeah. Avowed was announced for next year, wasn't it? Or was that
I believe it's for next year, yeah.
I can't remember if they said 2024 on the trailer for Avowed.
I don't know if it had a date, did it?
It didn't have a date.
I don't think it had a date. I think they may have said 2024. Did they say 2024 for Avowed, guys, in the chat?
No, they didn't give a actual anything, but
Phil's mentioned it too many times. Everybody's mentioned it in the roadmap. It's next year. It's next year. For sure.
It's probably that like spring summer game.
And then I think we potentially get Clockwork Revolution next year too. I think In Exile's ready.
PC Gamer says Avowed will release in 2024. We don't have a specific date yet. I think it was at the end of the trailer, it said 2024.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he had a date, but what they did show was pre-alpha. So they maybe purposely kind of didn't show it in its best light. So when the next time they showed off where they got everything, because this was probably something that was working, they might encounter a bug this just a while back. So I think they really announce the next time they show it's going to really be stellar.
I think the big surprise game that could potentially be next year is South of Midnight, and I think that would be your like fall game. Whereas I think everything else, like I think Clockwork and Fable are probably your late 2025 games.
Okay. Avowed at the end of the trailer, like I'm playing the trailer now, but I'm scrolling my mouse on the bottom. It did say coming 2024 on it. So
did it say? Okay, good.
Yeah. So Avowed, Towerborn, Flight Sim. Already that's 3 games, right? Expected for next year, and then Hellblade 2 should be next year. Did they say 2020? Was that at the showcase? I can't remember if they had a 2024 date on that. Also, they might have Hellblade 2. Did they say? My memory sucks.
No,
I don't think Hellblade had a date either.
We did not see a date for Hellblade.
I think Phil was the one that kind of mentioned it as early next quarter.
Yeah, that's right. He was doing his cadence of releases, and correct. I think the first one that he had said was Hellblade 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Avowed.
And everyone's just assumed that we're going to get that at Game Awards.
Yeah. That makes sense. This is a long trailer, but I'll just skip to the end here.
Just look at this game, and this is them saying this is alpha build. And the coloring and things are not like top notch because people are like, it's too colorful. Well, here we are. I think it looks good. So if that's alpha, give me the fucking final retail release. Holy shit.
Hellblade said 2024 also, Alvin says.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I remember this stuff back then. I just can't remember it now, but like Hellblade 2, Flight Sim.
Oh, so it's almost like they gave us a 12-month year plan again.
There was more in the showcase besides just the 12-month stuff, Jasper. Come on. I know you were like wanting the 12-month show again. You were like the only person that liked the 12-month show, right? But we got stuff coming within 12 months, but we also got a lot of others.
Yeah, you're right. It's more of an 18-month show because it would be the end of 2024. So,
well, they had third-party stuff there that was like further out too and stuff like that. Yeah, but Sony shows this year didn't really have much of any of that. Like, if you're really looking at it and you're trying to judge the pipeline going forward, like apples to apples, like I would definitely choose an Xbox for games that we know about releasing.
I mean, Switch.
Not me. I mean, I Switch 2 maybe when we get that, if they announce some more games for that, like or announce games for it, but not right now, not for the Switch. The Switch is the thing holding back the Switch. But so we'll get a new one eventually. But yeah, the pipeline's crazy, guys. It's nuts. I don't think it's gonna stop either. You add ABK on top of it. What it's just gonna
If that ever
fucking
feels like going
crazy.
through.
October 8th,
Hopefully it's finished next month.
18th is the deadline. So I think within a few weeks we'll get an answer.
How many times have we heard a deadline and then it's like,
know.
well, actually, we gotta put more information in, so we're gonna delay it another 4 fucking months.
Do y'all think we get another delay on ABK, or do you think it'll happen before 18th?
It's either happening or close over top. I think at this point there's too many billions wrapped up in it that they're not going to want to delay and pay the 3 or 4 bill to postpone it again.
So that's bound to happen this month too. Do we see games? I mean, will we get a dumping of games into Game Pass before the end of the year? Then, if that happens,
a good bit, but nothing that's come out this year. So I don't think we see Diablo or Call of Duty from this year.
right?
I think you can see a
those
lot
are
of the
early next
older
year.
Call of Duties if there's no random deal with that. Like a lot of the 360 ones, probably you'll get there towards the end of the year or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Xbox can't catch a break with the media. That's just the biggest battle now. Is just the it's not the games no more. It's not anything else. It's just perception, right? And I think the more these games just keep hitting, that perception is going to change, and the media is going to look more idiotic when they make those trash posts all the time. Because we got more games coming soon, and then it's just 2024 is going to be nuts. They also thing happened with one of the guys that works in the Game Pass department there with the marketing deals and stuff and partnerships had made a LinkedIn post and he said more than 30 million Game Pass subs is the first time anybody from Xbox has actually said that. So that kind of made the rounds today. Then he removed it off his LinkedIn.
He got told to remove it.
Yeah, which means they weren't ready to make any kind of announcement or post.
Or they lost one user and they're back down to 29 million.
that's like what happens on YouTube. You hit like 4K and somebody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ruin his day." At 3,999. Yeah, I think they're probably actually well over 30 million. Be honest with you, because when did they hit 28? When did they announce 28? That came out from.
What was that, like last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, like at least a year ago, if not longer.
And now you have Starfield. You have all these other games that have been hitting a lot. You have third-party games coming day one. Forza is going to hit. You know, I have a feeling they're probably like 32, 33, something like that at least. I don't think it's like close to 30. I think it's like a million or two over probably.
Yeah, because if it was like 35, you would feel like you would put 35 million in that headline.
I think it's somewhere between 30 and 35. Right.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what that would be. But it's interesting to see that at least. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't think it even really matters that much, to be honest with you. Phil did come out again and reconfirm that Game Pass is profitable. And Xbox is profitable. As many people have tried to dissuade that conversation. The Game Pass is working, right? And that's a good thing because that means more investment into it. So bright future there. Let's see. There was also a article I saw from about Starfield that I wanted to bring up. And this I brought it up on, did I bring it up on PM and the PM, or did I bring it up on FSP?
Which article?
One?
It was the yeah, sorry. I guess you need to know. It was the Forbes article.
We did that on FSP.
FSP.
Okay. Did we talk about that at all, Pong?
Did we touch on it? No, we did not touch on it on the Forbes article.
I wanted to get your thoughts on. I know you got to head out.
Yeah.
So, real quick, the Forbes article where they're highlighting the negative reviews from other sites while ignoring their own review. What did you think of that one?
Well, I thought it was interesting because they had another. I don't know if you saw the other Forbes writer that wrote a negative review after Paul Tassi's great review, and put it out there as a separate article as well. I did see that. Listen,
did they ever do that for other games?
No, but again, Starfield's in a class of its own. That's why I said, and that's why we all talked about what a Bethesda title does, right? And we're in a different world in 2023 when it comes to social media. So we've gotten to see what actually does happen when Todd and A-Team drop something nowadays, both good and bad, right? So, and everything in between. Again, these sites, and I've seen a lot of defense from these sites. It's literally as if they believe that we're not educated consumers these days and that we don't understand why the term clickbait became a thing and how they do make their ad revenue on these sites. They all act like we're stupid and that that's got nothing to do about how we write articles or what we do these days. Again, like I said last night on PM to PM, if you're one of those people, that's fine. Again, I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change my mind on how this works. You can act high and mighty. You can act above it all. And you can say that you yourself don't do that as a professional journalist, but you will never convince me that the conglomerates, that the bigger places, the bigger sites out here, absolutely 1000% understand how to drive numbers, which in turn drive ad revenue. These types of articles are using the negativity, which again, I've spoke about and lots of people talk about. Negativity, unfortunately, does create more attention than positivity does. We saw that. How many people referenced Paul Tassi's review in which he gave a glowing review of Starfield? How many people? Outside of Xbox, outside of Starfield, outside of us that are fans of Starfield, how many people?
You know what I mean? But like,
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for people. And that, I'm talking about people on all sides. The ones that get the most traction are your IGN 7s, are your ridiculous 5s and 4s. It's all the ones that aren't glowing, that do actually get referenced, that do get talked about from all different sides. That's where we're just at. So it doesn't shock me in the least that Forbes decided, despite the fact that Paul Tassi came out, gave a glowing review, that they would in turn ignore that and instead focus on the bad reviews or the semi-good reviews, whatever you want to say. Of course, they're going to focus on that because they know the readers are going to click on that article more often than not. It's just the nature of the beast where we're at. It's sad, but it is what it is. This started long ago in newscasts around the globe that, unfortunately, bad news people tune into. Good news people don't care about. And that's still where we're at and where we're going to be. So we saw this a lot, and, you know, Forbes doing it is just jumping on the train at this point, because they saw other sites doing it. So I'm assuming they just thought to themselves, we got to get out an article about this. This is going to drive some numbers to our site. People are going to want to read about all the bad things that people have said about Starfield, even though our own reviewer had a glowing review. That doesn't matter. That didn't drive numbers. And so I think that's all this is, Mav. And that's where it's so sad, but this is where we're at nowadays, man. It's unfortunate. And obviously, as we've talked about time and time again, when it comes to Xbox, they are looked at differently, will always be looked at differently, will always be graded differently on a different curve from every other company out there. And it just happens that way. Call it bias, call it whatever you want to. It doesn't matter. The Sonys and Nintendos, their glowing reviews of their games get numbers from those big masses of fans that are on both of those. But with Xbox, it's not the same. With Xbox, it's different. They write a different type of review. They will write a different type of article from a whole different perspective, ignoring what they've done in the past for those other companies, simply because they know when it comes to this community, when it comes to the wider audience, there's this unfortunate perception about Microsoft, about Xbox, that brings in all different sides if it's not just a praise kind of article or a praise kind of review or whatever you're doing, whatever you're talking about. There's always a slant when it comes to Xbox news. And again, if you're not one of those people that believe in it, so be it. That's okay with me. I don't have a problem with you. You're just not going to change my mind that there is not a slant to all of this. So I think that's all that Forbes article was. Again, I laugh now, Mav. I really do at this stuff, because honestly, at this point, we all know, anybody who's followed Bethesda's history, anybody who's looked at their games, played their games, enjoyed their games, know that there's a reason why they're talked about 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Starfield is not going to be anything different than what their previous games were. And I would not doubt it that years from now, that some of these same people writing these crazy articles about Starfield look back at it and say, you know what, I was too harsh on Starfield. And we'll see those articles come out where, 5 years later, man, I look back at my review and I've thought about it and I prayed over it, and it was different time back then, man. Starfield is great. That's exactly what's going to happen here. So all attention is good attention at some point, especially with a game like Starfield that still has a gigantic fan base. It's not like the hate killed this off. It's not even like the Cyberpunk level where it did kill a lot of the momentum. I'm still seeing huge amounts of love for Starfield despite all of it. And people are going to continue to try it.
That people are playing are speaking to it, right? Like,
exactly.
It's making me lose interest in other games. Like, by now, I would already be playing the shit out of NBA 2K 2K. I would be playing the shit out of Madden. I would be Mortal Kombat. I would have bought the early access edition of Mortal Kombat for sure. I'm fucking so hyped for Mortal Kombat. It's getting good reviews too, and like everybody's loving it that's playing it. I'm really looking forward to playing it, but like, I'm like, I can wait because I got Starfield, and it's rare when a game does that to you, because like I got so much shit left to do in the game, and I don't want to pull myself
I've done less than you in 100 hours, so like it's crazy. I gotta go, everybody. Kid just texted me, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Later, Paul.
Love you all. It was a great show. You guys know where to find me. Join myself and Steel Rain tomorrow morning, Living Split Screen, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. That's the one I'll shout out because it's cut right around the corner. So be there, tell a friend, bring a friend. We're going to have a lot to talk about, 3+ hours. Buckle up. Golden Age of Gaming, people. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Play what you love what you play. I'll talk to you all real soon, but thank you all. It was a great show, and I'll be back. Talk to you guys all later.
Later, Paul.
Later, brother.
Have a good night, dude.
Yep, we'll do.
Spartan661 hit us with a $2 super chat. Says, if anyone has the time to play, they will play #Starfield. And I think Starfield's negativity in a weird way has almost been doing it a service also,
because they want to see what everyone's hoopla and complaints are all about. Like, why is this getting so much negative press?
Right.
Why is this getting so much negativity? And let me try it out, and then like,
I'm 200 hours in. I still can't find that thing that guy was talking about. But
exactly.
Well, the funniest thing is, like, if you look at IGN, I've said this before, if the game wasn't as good as to expectation, like if it was truly a 7 out of 10, then why did IGN spend so much time and effort with the additional content as far as guides, cheat codes, all that lore labor stuff? Like, it show me another game that they gave a 7 out of 10 that and they've put that much effort into additional content.
Is that
they didn't
big, right?
They haven't. You have not seen them put this much effort as we were seeing from IGN, doing the guides, doing the lore and everything, and it's one of those things like it's a silly fucking thing that IGN is. They're just doing it to get clicks, to get traction, to their to those guides, to those pieces to show, then it's like, okay, well, if you really hate it, you're showing me how to find that one special item, or you're showing me how to, like, don't forget, if you go do this mission, you'll get X, Y, and Z. So it's like, okay, IGN, like, you hate it, but yet here you are putting hundreds of hours into all these guides, and
15 tips I wish I knew when I first started. And it's like, really?
Exactly.
What I've learned from playing 800 hours in Starfield.
Oh, I know we're in Starfield, but when we get a moment, Xbox Game Pass Core did go live yesterday, and they have announced 36 games for those players to play.
Didn't the game announcements already come out, like when they announced Core?
They said there was more to come at the time, so I think they announced the rest of them.
Yeah, they put out, it's 36 games. Initially it was 25, so they've added 36. I can run through them real quick. You got Celeste, Firewatch, Spiritfarer, Limbo, Among Us, Astroneer, Dead Cells, Descenders, Dishonored 2, Doom Eternal Standard Edition, Fable Anniversary, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Forza Horizon 4 Standard Edition, Gang Beast, Gears 5 Game of Year Edition, Golf with Friends, Grounded, Halo 5, Halo Wars 2 Standard Edition, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Human Fall Flat, Inside, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Overcooked 2, Payday 2, Power Wash Simulator, Mavs Game of the Year, Psychonauts 2, Slay the Spire, Stardew Valley, State of Decay 2, Superliminal. I think that's
Superliminal.
Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. The Elder Scrolls Online, Unpacking, and Vampire Survivor. And that is the 36. Oh yeah. And a lot of those games are, getting ready for the, Payday 3. Yeah, getting ready for
well, that's not coming to Payday 3 is not coming to Game Pass Core, right? So
no. Yeah. But it gets oh, I want to try out this game. Oh, if the third one's coming to regular Game Pass, let me because everyone that has Xbox Live has already been switched over. Same price, everything's the same except for now you got 36 games to play versus 2 games a month.
Yeah, I would much rather have that than the games with gold. I understand that like if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you're losing the games with gold or whatever, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a sacrifice. I'm willing to sacrifice the shit that they've been peddling us for years now for that sake of regular Xbox Live members getting better value for their subscription.
Yeah,
right.
It's definitely, and I definitely think what we were at with Xbox Live. The last time they mentioned it was like over 90 million. I think we're going to be roughly sitting about maybe 75-80 million.
Well, before they had like over 100 million Xbox Live Gold members. Right?
Yeah,
so
over 100 million in the past, but now with how people going PlayStation and PC and Steam and things like that. I think we'll be in the 75 to low.
I forget. Is there like a core PC,
90s.
A Game Pass core PC, or is that?
It's just Game Pass.
PC Game Pass.
PC Game Pass.
Okay,
that's it.
I'm thinking the Game Pass number overall by the end of the year is 100 mil. The way the conversion is for live to Game Pass Core, if you count that, kind of like the way PS Plus did theirs when they were at the 45 mil or something, this will be 100 mil before the end of the year between Starfield and Forza. Yeah.
Definitely can see that. And then if they, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if they do like announce Hellblade 2 at the end of the year, as like a surprise type of game, you definitely will get that. You'll get people that love the series that played it on PlayStation.
Mhm.
They'll be playing it either on PC or on their Xbox that they say they don't have.
Alvin hit us with the $2 super chat. Says, put that Pong outro in the Guinness Book of Records. Yeah, that was the fastest Pong outro ever. I have to go back and look and see how many seconds it was, but it was not longer than a minute, I don't think. So props to Pong, and he said he's in the chat and listening to the show while he's out. So I hope you're have a great night, bro. Spartan661 hit us with the $2. Says, if IGN keeps on their track, they will fall like G4. Yeah, I think IGN's like definitely transitioned a lot more as a site where you can definitely tell the priorities have shifted with them, as far as, you know, it's a business and it's more apparent than ever. It's a business and not just fan service or articles about the hobbies, you know? So it's interesting when the illusion of, hey, these people care is gone. And it kind of, that's kind of what I've got now, especially with the retaliatory attitude that many of them have. Like towards Jasper was crazy. You're taking things
Conspiracy
out of
theory.
context. Jasper, you conspiracy theorist. Why you point this stuff out, man? You're making us look bad.
But that was the context.
100%. That's the definition of fucking context. I'll say it time and time again. You know that, and it's just like these guys, like they keep coming out and acting like asses, and I call them out for it, and it is what it is. Some people don't like if I go after somebody or whatever, but you know, if you show this level of disrespect to the hobby and to the people that actually give a shit, then you're gonna get that back from me. I don't care who you are, right? Like, you're just a person, just like all of us, you know? And it doesn't mean a damn thing to me how long you've been doing whatever you've been doing. Everybody works hard. Everybody's been successful in one thing or another in their
I
lives.
took that so many ways. You're like, they're just a person. So I'm like, does he mean he can treat people just shit, or does that mean he wants to treat them fine?
What I'm saying is, like,
I know. But then you kept like adding on to it. So I'm like, wait, maybe it's a good thing. And then you say something else like, maybe it's a bad thing.
Basically, I think some of these guys got egos, right?
Yeah, I got what you were saying. It's just, it was funny.
Some of these guys got egos, and they're like, you know, my opinion matters more than others because I've been doing this a long time, and I'm going to call anybody who doesn't like my opinion out, or like call them whatever, or try and defend my stance so much I'll block everybody that disagrees with me, and like call people claim they're rage posting like Dan did to 3-Bit. He said that 3-Bit made a rage post. 3-Bit just made like, it's 3-Bit. 3-Bit doesn't know how to rage. Like, have you ever seen 3-Bit rage about anything? Like, this guy is like one of the nicest people. I've never seen him angry. Like, he doesn't have that in him whatsoever. And he got called making a rage post.
He must have said "darn it" or something. Or
I see
Dolly in his tweet.
Yeah,
just for disagreeing with somebody or making a point, you say you're making a rage post. Like, these guys are just fucking crazy, man. And like they think so highly of themselves. It's like, if you disagree or don't like their opinion, or you want to call them out on something, it's like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, or you're a rage post, or you're doing this or that, while they're making trash clickbait articles and doing shit on purpose just for the sake of the business end of their websites and stuff, without the integrity of actually saying what they believe. And if they do actually say what they believe, then they shouldn't be doing their job, because they have shit ass opinions and nobody should actually trust what they say anyway. So I'm just basically calling it like it is. And I would rather listen to somebody else that actually gives a shit and understands the games that they're playing, than some moron who has an ego that all of a sudden forgot what a fucking RPG is, right? I mean, just saying, you know. But it is what it is. I'll criticize them. Fuck them. Moving on. I can say we're all enjoying the shit out of Starfield, but I do have a question for Jasper. Have they fixed Intel shit yet?
No.
Oh God.
They
It's coming, they said.
Bethesda did put out a post saying that we're working with our graphics card vendors now to actually get driver support. So,
Yay!
Are
It's
you
running fine on my Nvidia card right
I
now.
could have beat it by now. I'm on the last mission, but I'm just kind of doing side shit stuff. I'm just saving it there because I don't want to have to do the whole New Game Plus stuff and reload my save. So,
have you thought about it selling your Intel card and going and get something else?
no, because
okay,
that's like still a lot of money.
Yeah.
How much was that Intel card? Like $150?
No, it's like 300.
Oh, really?
But the equivalent to AMD or Nvidia probably
It would be like a 3070. So it would have been like, if I bought a 3070, that would have been like fucking $450, $500.
Yeah. It's a good card. It's just it's going to be slower on support.
It's because it's a newer GPU, so they don't have the driver support history and stuff and the knowledge yet. So they just got to learn it. Just takes time. AMD had that same problem 4 years ago, whatever, when they first started their RX series.
Right.
Like their drivers were shit. It took them 2 years or whatever to actually even get in a decent stage. And Intel's been a lot better at their driver support than AMD was in this short period of time.
Yeah. I hope that because you already put
it's new technology.
How many hours did you put into Starfield now?
I'm like 5 days, 18 hours, I think I said earlier.
Yeah, so that's like 138 hours, roughly.
I think something like that. My save file, I think, says like 3 days, like in game, because I've fucking built so many ships and just reloaded.
Right. But you won't get that time back, but you're gonna be playing Starfield for years, I would imagine, right? So
yeah, I'll jump back into it.
Yeah. What's the next game you're gonna get?
I want to play the First Ascenders. The beta comes after that. The end of next week.
First Ascendant.
So yeah, First Ascendant.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the little bike game at first.
No, yeah, that's a free to play game though, so
not
too. But I'll play that on PC.
Right on.
Just think when the Star Wars or Star Trek mods come out for Starfield.
There's already some starting to show up, man. That you see the Stormtroopers one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking once they have the quest line support where they give you the mod tools or they have the mod tools out there, we'll see a Mandalorian game in a short period of time.
Yeah. I don't really know how to install mods without the mod button on the main menus, so I'm not messing with it.
I saw where someone added EVA, where you can actually get out of your fucking spaceship. Thank you. You can actually do something in fucking outer space now. Like, why is that not a feature fucking Bethesda made? I don't know. I don't have a fucking mode where you get outside your ship and fucking fix it or something. Or maybe the fucking docking port blows up, so you got to go through a hatch. Oh, well, that's fucking creative. I guess you can't do fucking shit in space.
Yeah, they probably did that, but they probably came across some issues and they probably didn't release it. So I think we'll see that in like an update or an official mod. They'll be able to do that.
Yeah,
that's the beauty. If they forgot to do something, the mod community comes right out and says, "Hey, we got you."
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can't play. I can't stop playing it, bro. It's amazing.
What do you think of you gonna play after Starfield?
I don't know. Forza.
Yeah.
I mean, Forza's the easy answer, but that's in October, right? So like, if I really want to play Mortal Kombat 1, so I'll probably at least play through the story on that. But I'm not paying $120 to do it, right?
No,
like
I'm gonna wait for a sale because that'll be soon.
I'm gonna get it. What's the official release date? Like on the
19th.
19th.
Yeah.
So is that next Tuesday?
Thursday, I thought.
Today's the 15th. So
then it's 14th. Then it's the 9th. Tuesday then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Liza P comes out the 19th and Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that reminds me. Yeah. Speaking of, this is a crazy weekend for Game Pass, right? This is this couple days coming up here, because there's like 3 game releases one after another. You got Liza P hitting, and Party Animals is hitting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there was one more. I can't.
Is it Payday 3?
Is that this weekend? Maybe.
No.
Because I know
I don't-
City Skylines is next month, because that's the next one I'm waiting
Yeah.
on too.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited for City Skylines. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Spirit Failure came back in the Game Pass, and they added 2 other games. Solar Ash is in Game Pass right
That's
now,
Oh, yeah.
that's the other one. I think,
Finally.
and then there was one other game they just added in the Game Pass. So it's like, s- didn't I totally forgot about Solar Ash. Awesome to see Spirit Failure came back, because I was going to buy that, and then because I wasn't able to finish it, but now I'm going to be able to. And then that other game, I downloaded it though, but it's great time to be a Game Pass gamer. You're eating
Yeah.
good, no matter what you like or what your style or whatever. They got something for you, and
Yeah.
and the best thing is, if you're not an RPG guy, if you're not a race car a racer, if you're not a one of the whatever Spirit Fair kind of is, like a kind of like a not a
Indie
platform.
game. It's an indie game. It's the best way
Yeah.
to describe it.
It's one of those things that you just try it out, and guess what? There are so many games that I tried out because of Game Pass. It's insane how much, like, Spirit Fair is probably one of my favorite games because it was in Game Pass. Truthfully, I would never have bought it outside of Game Pass, just because do I risk to pay that $30 on a game that might not be my type of my game? And Game Pass, hey, guess what? It allows you to do that, and I just bought the what was it, the not Handsome collection for Borderlands. It's the big mega loot pack. It's $150. It was on sale for $30. It has it has better Borderlands 1, 2, and 3, the prequel, the Tales of the Borderland, all the DLC for every single game and everything. And it was like $30. I was like, because I was gonna just buy, because I had Borderlands 3, so I was gonna buy Borderlands 1 and 2. If I bought that separately, because I think that's like the Handsome collection, I was gonna spend like $28. I'm like, well, for freaking $2 more, I can get all the DLC for it, for all those games, and have Borderlands 3. I was like, you know what, fuck it. So I just bought it.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth it, because you get the HD pack for Borderlands 1 or 2. Borderlands 2, you get the HD pack. So awesome.
So there's Liza P is reviewing really well. So critics liking it. I've heard good things from people that had tried it before. And then also Party Animals too is actually reviewing fairly well. 2 day 1 Game Pass games this week. Pretty fucking crazy, right? On top of the fact that we're all enjoying the shit out of Starfield, there's more stuff to play. And do you think that these games might get overlooked a little bit because of Starfield?
Yeah.
In the beginning, I would say yes. Just in fact is with all the negative and positive reviews and news about Starfield that's been surrounding it, people trying out regardless, and a lot of them are really, really liking it, and some of them like, you know what, it's not my thing. And guess what? That's fine, because there's no loss. You did not spend $70 on a game that you might not, you know what I mean? So that's the great thing about Game Pass, is that there's no risk to try out the game. So people are going to try that out, and the ones that don't, like, hey, you know what, let me try Liza P, because they're more of a Souls style player.
Yeah.
Or
there's definitely Souls players are going to play Liza P and try it out, right? Like
100%.
So I don't think that'll get overlooked, at least from that audience, for sure.
No. And there'll be some people that want to take a break,
Yeah.
try do a little bit
And-
different
and-
before they go back.
And Party Animals is a completely different kind of audience. Like I can guarantee you my daughter's probably gonna try it out, right? Like so.
Oh, you know your wife's gonna fucking try it out, and then she'll be
Yeah,
like,
she wants to play it too.
Mav, Psycho.
I don't know, man.
That's why
She's
I
like
play.
she's addicted to Starfield though. Like
I know.
she hasn't touched another game since Starfield. Like she hasn't.
Not
she's
even
on-
GTA?
Quest at all, or is
No.
she just like traveling?
Wow.
No, she's doing missions and shit, bro. Like she doesn't play games like this. It's weird. It's a different person has taken over her body. Like she has more hours than I do, and she's like, she's fucking in the Crimson Fleet doing missions and shit. Like,
Oh shit.
like-
Has she
she's-
stopped asking you for help, and are you asking her for help?
except no, except like she doesn't need my help at all, except for the ship battles. If there's a ship, she can't stand the fucking ship battles. Like,
Well, she just needs to upgrade her ship so she can hit RB so she can maneuver.
Earlier she was like, she's like, can you come help me? And I went down and she had some fucking ship she stole. She has 8 ships, right? She had some ship she stole that she was flying doing this mission, and she had to fight 3 guys. And this ship was like the biggest piece of ship I've seen in the game. I don't know what ship this was, but it had like it had 2 weapons and it had 2 bars on each weapon, right?
Was it like a yellow ship?
It was a piece of shit. I don't know, but it had 2 weapons. It had 2 bars on each weapon, and it had 3 bars on shields. Everything was on the fucking grav drive. Like it was like grav drive was like it had a full fucking bar.
Is that the prison?
Nothing else on like anything else, bro. Like the engines that had like
Because you get like 2 or 3 ships that are pretty shit from that Crimson Fleet mission chain.
Yeah, she said it was the Hulker, not Hunker.
The Hulker. Yeah. I got
The Hulker.
I got the Hulker. I found that is a piece of shit.
Yeah. And so she was like doing this ship battle and stuff, and I'm like, and she had no ship parts because she doesn't pick those up, she said, because she doesn't plan on doing ship battles. So she has no repair equipment and is the worst ship in the fucking game. So I had to get past that part for her, right? And then I went and I made her switch ships, and then I got her some ship parts and stuff.
The ship stuff is so easy now. Like I used my Star Destroyer. That thing just fucking melts every ship in like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just like ship battles are like so fucking easy.
The Star Eagle is amazing. Like I fucking annihilate people with that. Like, I do want to get into more shipbuilding and like build a ship from scratch. You know, just really to see what I can create. But I've been invested more into the story stuff, like with the side quests. But yeah, she's crazy, dude. Like investing her time in this game. Like she's never been into RPGs or anything like this before. Like she's got so much stuff. Like she's getting contraband, going to the outpost and selling it and stuff. Well, it's crazy. Anyway, let's see. We got a $2 super chat from Caper Grant. I appreciate Caper says, "You gonna play Phantom Liberty?" That
fucking trailer. Did anyone watch that trailer they put out yesterday?
Yeah.
That was like the fucking best looking trailer I've like ever seen almost.
So that you asked what I might play next, Fuzz. I have Cyberpunk on Xbox, right?
Mhm.
But I have this PC now, right?
Yeah.
And after playing Starfield, and I have my PC hooked up to the TV now, and after playing it and stuff, and just like my eyes are fucking blown by like how smooth and like gorgeous Starfield is.
Pause.
I have to play this new Cyberpunk this way, right? So I got to get it on PC. I'm gonna buy Cyberpunk on PC. But the question is, do I want to get into another big game right now?
Also, like I don't
know
if you want to play like, because I'm assuming you're gonna pick it up when the DLC comes out. Like, do you want to play the DLC? Because I don't know how if you have to progress like a certain.
I will play the DLC eventually, but like I know that this content overhauls the main game also.
Yeah.
So there's systems in it that I got to overhaul. That's why I wanted to wait to get back into it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, because if you have to beat the game to even play the DLC, I don't know how it's going to work, but like, you're never going to beat the game, so you'll never get to the DLC.
Maybe I'll beat the game. I'll beat the game. I think I will. I mean, I could easily beat Starfield now if I wanted to plow through it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Starfield and Cyberpunk, like even running through their like main missions with Cyberpunk, still takes you quite
Right.
some
It takes
time.
like 8 hours.
Well,
Really?
you play games differently than we do, Jasper. Where you run by all the enemies and don't fight them and stuff because you like speed runs and stuff.
Yeah, because
Like-
what are they gonna do? Give you some shitty gun that you have like 7 of? Like, fuck it.
I play these games and take part in the combat and stuff. Like a game that you say takes 8 hours probably gonna take me 20. Just based on you beating Halo Infinite in 2 hours or whatever.
Wow.
What was your fastest run on Halo Infinite?
I think it was like 230, 240, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy.
I mean, that's
bro.
slow
That's a 20.
compared to
That's
like
a 15-hour game for me.
that's a
Mhm.
3-hour game, bro.
15-hour game. All right, maybe 12. Maybe I have to go.
Halo Infinite's the shortest Halo.
Yeah.
Not the way I play it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, if you just run through the missions and only select those missions and just run through them and run past the enemies, yeah. But like most people don't play that way. You play
You
games.
gotta do at least a couple of
differently.
side missions.
Well, I
Hmm,
mean,
you
yeah,
gotta
you
save
kill
the
like 1 or
Marines.
2 grunts, but that's just because they're blocking the doors.
No, yeah, I have to kill everybody. Like I kill everybody in the Halo missions. I kill every enemy, like in a mission. Like I don't leave enemies.
You're just a murderer.
I thought that's what you were supposed to do. Spartan661 with the $5 says, "Hey, fun speculation. My wife and I enjoy your show. Thank you for everyone's opinions. P.S. Thanks for calling me Spartan, even though we are many." Yeah, appreciate that super chat. That means a lot. And yeah, thanks for watching. And tell your wife thank you for watching as well. I'm glad you guys are here and enjoy the content. Appreciate it. Side note, before I forget, because I'll probably end up forgetting this, I had put a poll on Twitter and on the YouTube today and asked community's feedback for something, and got good enough responses. So for audio listeners, this is important channel announcement. If you are an audio listener, and whether you watch Xbox Ultimate on audio or listen to it or PM the PM or whatever, any of the shows, there are changes happening. So what is going to happen is instead of having 4 different shows on Spotify that people have to find and search out, I am taking the Xbox Ultimate channel on Spotify and all the audio platforms, and that is being converted to Fun Speculation, and that will host all of our shows. So the only issue is like episode numbers will be out of whack, like, you know, because like and I won't have a history of Fun Pop or FSP or those other shows on that. You'll still have the history of Xbox Ultimate on there. And if you want to search what shows got put on audio for those other shows, you can search for them still individually. But on the main feed going forward, you will have Xbox Ultimate, Fun Pop, PM in the PM, and FSP all show up on the same channel. So you don't, if you're already following Xbox Ultimate on there, you won't have to do anything. You should just see it change the name to Fun Speculation. In fact, you may already see it if you search it up. And then you'll see all the Xbox Ultimate episodes there, and then you'll start to see other ones get filtered in too when we do the shows. So part of that is because I needed to, because it's a lot easier for me to do it that way. Honestly.
Were you running 4 separate channels for like all the podcasts?
Yeah.
That's
And I let 2 of them go. I let 2 of them go a long time ago. And part of this is going to make it easier to where I can actually keep up with it and make sure the shows get posted. And then also it'll help people find those other shows, right? Because like we had a pretty decent like Xbox Ultimate listener base, but like the other shows, like they have a lot of discoverability on audios and stuff like that. So, you know, if you like Xbox Ultimate and you're not familiar with the other shows, you'll start to see them show up, and maybe you like them, maybe you're not. And if you get annoyed by it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's what we got to do. And I appreciate everybody's feedback. You said that you actually would prefer it that way also. So that's what's going to happen, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that was just...
I mean, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Like, I mean, because you'll see, if you like stay consistent with all the shows, you'll see a release order, like, you know, FSP, then Fun Pop, then PMPM, then Xbox Ultimate. So if you only listen to Xbox, you just know to skip 3, and then there's
the only thing is if somebody gets annoyed because they download the episodes or whatever, and it starts to download 4 shows a week, right? That I'm afraid like some people might get annoyed with that. But you know, hopefully you don't hate me for doing it. But I think it'll help you find the shows better, and also help other people find the stuff, and it'll be more consistent. It'll help the shows be more consistent. So anyway, on audio. So thank you all for indulging me with that. But yeah, man, Tokyo Game Show is around the corner, and we did have a question in the chat earlier from Calorie that I thought would be fun. He asked if we could make some fun speculation predictions for Tokyo Game Show about what announcements might be there. So we'll kind of end on this note. We'll go around and get some thoughts about something that could be announced from Xbox at the Tokyo Game Show.
From Xbox, or just like something that's announced at the show?
Xbox. Because this is
so
Xbox
it has to be,
Ultimate Podcast, baby. So
it has to be from Xbox?
It doesn't have to be first party, but it has to be like an Xbox, either Game Pass Day 1, a new game announcement that's like Xbox exclusive or whatever, you know. We'll start with Psycho, because I'm curious. I'm just throwing him into the bus here and make him go first without any kind of notice.
So what we could possibly see is a Dragon Quest 12 announcement for Game Pass. Because that is their new game that's going to be coming out soon. Or because I know they already announced what is that? Diaz Lightning Staff or Lightning Strife or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not coming to Game Pass, so maybe we could see Dragon Quest 12, or possibly that game, The Adventures of Diaz. Or is it Dia? I think it's Dia.
I have no clue what the hell you're talking about.
It's a character from Dragon Quest 6, I believe it's 6.
Okay.
He's like the chosen warrior. He's like the chosen one that's gonna save the world. So anyways, possibly we could see that. We could possibly see whatever the head of Xbox Japan has been cooking up with other studios, because he even posts, make sure you I think he said, make sure you join us live, and then he reposted Phil Spencer's Game Pass, his announcement for TGS. So it's definitely they've been doing something, and he's been, or she's been, is it a male or female that took over the Xbox Japan? I thought it was
I have no fucking clue.
Because it looks, the person that was
no idea
posting was a man, but I thought it was a woman that was announced. So maybe he's part of the team. If that's the case, then they already got people hired and really turning this out, and we could see some new partnerships with. We'll probably get a Atlas games announced outside of what we already know. Possibly some new Square stuff and Bandai Namco and
He's just naming every Japanese
I
publisher.
really think that they got a lot that they have up their sleeves right now.
Yeah,
So
they
it's one of those.
They definitely do.
I wanted to say like some Korean developers, but I don't know if they're going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this will be
because there's a couple
like Asian like territory like developers will probably be at
it's kind of more
show.
the Asian region,
right?
Yeah, but sometimes the Japanese is a little weird when it's like a China developer and stuff like that. Just saying.
Yeah. Got it for Sofa King with $5 super chat. Says, I will laugh if Final Fantasy VII Remake gets announced for Game Pass. Assault will be unreal. Remake or Rebirth? People keep putting R, so I don't know if they're talking about remake.
Final Fantasy VII Retribution.
Retribution?
Yeah.
Is that the third one?
I have no idea, probably.
Yeah, so maybe if it got announced for Game Pass, that would be even crazier. That would be crazy. That would be a big deal. That would be a very big deal.
I think that would break social media.
Yeah.
Like there would be Twitter or X Spaces for 2 days, 3 days tops.
Yeah. Think so? Yeah, it would, because like shit, it's coming to Game Pass, like, and then knowing that the other one is only a 3-month exclusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be nuts, dude. A December game.
Yeah.
All right, Fuzz, your prediction for
Tokyo Game Show? I would really like to hear console platforms for Black Myth Wukong. It'd be nice to see it there.
Psycho says that can't happen because it's a Chinese developer in Japan.
I think it still can happen. It's just yes, there is bad blood culturally between the two, but when it comes to a game conference, I think it's about the business at that end. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we hear a platform listing for it. I know it's coming to Steam Early Access or something like that here soon, but trying to think, there's I remember hearing something about Virtual Fighter from Sega, so I'm hoping there's some more Sega announcements. Like they had talked about it, I think, at the last Evo, not this just past Evo, the year before. So hopefully we get an update on Virtual Fighter from Sega, and then a lot of games that may have skipped Xbox. Hopefully we get an announcement here at the Tokyo Game Show. Like I would almost love to see an announcement for Scarlet Nexus 2.
Oh, that's a good call.
And coming to Game Pass day and date kind of thing.
You think it's sold well enough to get a sequel?
Was that Sega?
That's Bandai Namco.
Bandai Namco. I think it did. Like, see, if it was Square Enix, it'd be a little bit different story. They would probably say it underperformed and they would kill it then and there. But I think with Bandai, I think they're the type that it's like they understand it's a new IP. It's first go round.
I mean, they just fucking put out Armored Core or whatever. So
yeah. So I think they'd be willing to spend the extra money to see if a sequel garners any more traction. And usually, your part twos tend to do a little bit better in a lot of cases. But I would love to see like a Scarlet Nexus 2. Trying to think if there's anything else that hasn't already been announced. This is completely left field, and it kind of ties into the $2 billion loss that Square took in value over this past year. Maybe we get an acquisition or a partnership notice.
Oh, yeah. Going acquisition season in Japan already. Yeah. Let's go. Okay.
But last but not least, with the new studio thing that that they're forming over there as far as for Xbox partnerships and studios and things. Maybe we get either a actual reboot of Ninja Gaiden or no, you know what? Why can't we get an announcement for what's his name's game? Although I have a feeling it would probably be at the Video Game Awards, but Kojima's game, what was that?
Overdose.
Overdose.
Mhm.
Like we've already seen leaks of it. Why not just go ahead and announce it fully? Like I'm thinking it's further along than they originally let on, because he's pretty quick when it comes to game production. Like Death Stranding, people thought it was going to be like a 5 or 6 year development, and I think he got it done in like 3.5.
Well, you
4
still got
years.
Death Stranding 2 coming out. That's
Yeah.
I think that you said that's his first game before Overdose, right? Or we assume that.
I think we're assuming that. I don't think he made, announcement as far as which one would be the priority or which one would be coming next, but we got to figure one of those two games probably needs to make an appearance there if they don't make an appearance at the Keeleys, or, considering, any publicity is good publicity kind of thing. Why not do it at both shows? And I think showing at least one of them at the Tokyo Game Show would probably be a way to go.
Yeah.
And then, anything else at the Video Game Awards. But those are hopeful predictions. I honestly don't know. I just know with Phil going there, there's bound to be something that's going to be dropped in the Game Pass that's going to be a pleasant surprise for subscribers. So we'll see.
For sure. Good thoughts, man. What about you, Jasper? You got something?
So yeah, first thing, Fuzzy, when he was talking about Virtual Fighter, remind me we did have Killer Instinct promised this year, so we may see that Killer Instinct news or update or whatever they were supposed to be talking about at Gamescom here or Tokyo Game Show. As far as kind of Game Pass partnerships or deals or whatever, the only ones that I can think of would be most likely from Sega, and that kind of leads me to maybe Company Heroes 3 Game Pass announcement, because that didn't sell the best on consoles. From what we've heard. They kind of shut down some of that team as well, so maybe they try to recoup some of that with Game Pass. Other than that, I mean, it would be cool to see that Armored Core 6 Game Pass announcement again, but that seems to, I guess, be doing pretty well for them. I'm not too sure, but there was that rumor of talks to make up for that Elden Ring mishap, and we just haven't seen that. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Everyone's kind of said their piece. So
right on. Good thoughts, sir. All right, I'll go and make it a little fun. I think we're going to see some new game announcement from a legendary Japanese game developer with Phil Spencer. And it won't be Hideo Kojima. I think you're going to see Tomonobu Itagaki show up and reveal his game that he said is in the works for Xbox in an interview. It's multiple platforms. He's working on a game with his new studio, and it is coming to Xbox. So I think they're going to reveal that this year at Tokyo Game Show and with Phil Spencer, because Xbox and Itagaki have a history and a good track record together. And he's been public about wanting to have a good relationship again with Xbox. So why not make it happen? I'll go above and beyond that. I think also you have another new game announcement from Platinum Games, and Xbox and Platinum Games says water under the bridge. Platinum's been basically begging Xbox to work with them again. Can
we not though?
They want to really bad, right? They're pretty much like begging. They say, "Phil, I'll suck your dick." Like, whatever you need.
They need another $100 million
again.
to scam Xbox so they can go make a PlayStation game.
No, I think so. They're gonna announce some like other game, right? And they're going to do that. It'll be something interesting, some Platinum thing, right? Platinum Games is making this and it's coming to Xbox. And then above and beyond that, we're also going to see that new game that was just announced at the Nintendo Direct, Unicorn Overlord, that Pong Soul and I are so excited about. Atlus game, Vanillaware. That will be announced and shown by Xbox at their little thing that they do, but it will have the Game Pass logo at the end because it is Atlus, and the other Atlus games that we've seen for the most part are coming to Game Pass day one. So I think we see that. I think it's coming to Game Pass. I think we see Platinum show up, and they show up like and feels like, hey, we're excited to work with these legendary developers again, and they have some of the Platinum guys show up or whatever. They have Itagaki there. And then also above and beyond that, I think there's something else from Square. You're going to see Square Enix show up, and they're going to talk about bringing games to Xbox again, and they're going to talk about some other game. One of the other ones that skipped Xbox is coming to Game Pass, not just Xbox, as well. And then
You
Final
also
Fantasy
will have your-
Remake Part 1 will be the end thing, will be the big moment at the end. I'll go with Alvin on this, even though he wanted to bet against me on this, but I'm going to go with Alvin's thought. At the end here, the big moment is going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 coming to Xbox this year in Game Pass, day one, and then they will hint at, and you won't have to wait as long for the next.
You also have your
Right.
updates from your Asian games that you had at E3 this year, like the Yakuza and the Personas.
Yeah, and they might show Path of the Goddess again.
Yeah, that
So
stuff.
it's like a
You'll have your
trailer.
updates on
It
those.
may even be the same damn trailer, right? I don't know. All right. Was that good enough? Was that good enough juice for Tokyo Game Show? Also, DLC for an expanded content for Naraka. And also I will say there will be what's the other fucking game? Wolong content announced. Both of those. Is that good enough? Yeah, Calorie says Octopath Traveler 2 in Game Pass, so I can keep my Switch copy still. Yeah, I was thinking about that game. I know they got some other stuff too. There's like Ogre Tactics as well they could do, or they could do Octopath Traveler 2. Something in that regard, maybe.
So just a quick look back at the last year's Tokyo Game Show. They showed Assassin's Creed Odyssey was coming to Game Pass. They showed Overwatch DLC. They showed Persona. They showed Eiyuden Chronicles, POW World, the Exo Primal game, Naraka, Blade Point DLC, Wolong, Deathloop, and Forza Horizon 10th anniversary. So that was some of the big stuff last year, just to give you an idea.
Yeah. Well, last year also, we have to remember, every show sucked except for the Xbox show. And even that was a letdown, like as far as what our expectations were, because they restricted to 12 months. Last year was the year where they just basically held everything in and didn't really say much. This year, they've done so much, and every show and everything they've done has been above and beyond our expectations. Even Gamescom, which Gamescom doesn't usually have that much, but they did even a shadow drop at Gamescom, and they had some cool stuff there too. So everything has been above and beyond this year. I think they're going to have stuff at Tokyo Game Show that'll be some cool.
Well, they didn't even have a
surprises.
show at Gamescom, to be honest. They had a show. They had a presence on the floor, but they didn't have a show at Gamescom.
Right, but they had stuff that was at the Keeley thing and stuff.
Yeah, they had
right?
a few
Yeah.
games like for his thing.
Right. So, and then they like some announcements and stuff like that. But like Gamescom was an improvement. Tokyo Game Show, I think, will be an improvement over last year. I think it'll be bigger. And then at the Game Awards this year, they will have stuff there too. Remember, after the showcase, after the Xbox showcase this year, Phil Spencer and Matt Booty sat next to each other and did the interview with Grubb, and they talked about there's more opportunities to show more stuff this year. Also, I think there may be something Halo. We'll see. I'll add that last little nugget. Something Halo. All right. So God Emperor Sofa King with $2 says Shin Megami Tensei Game Pass. Yeah, or Eiyuden Chronicles could be there also.
That got delayed though, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It did. See. Yeah, I mean, God,
I mean, Forza is probably going to be there because it's going to be right around the corner. So I would imagine they would show something from Forza.
maybe. Probably. I mean, is it like? I guess so. Yeah. I guess they got to, right? Because it's the next game coming out. Yeah. Forza's looking forward to that, man. I'm gonna play the shit out of it. I know Fuzzy's gonna have more hours into that game than Starfield.
I think the biggest surprise that I would expect out of Tokyo Game Show, like that would really blow me away, is if Tango Gameworks showed off their next game. But
Tango Gameworks should be there, right? It's their Japanese studio. I didn't even think of that. Good call. But
I don't know if they're ready to show anything. But that's
they think they'll talk about Hi-Fi Rush again a little bit.
yeah, and I don't really give a shit about Hi-Fi Rush, so it's like if they were going to announce like Evil Within 3, like even like the title card, like Evil Within 3, and just like that would be just enough for me. Just I don't know.
Yeah. There's some fun speculation for you, right? We'll see what happens. But yeah, man. Can't wait to see what happens. And I guess in a week from now, we'll know. But everybody, thank you for being here. This chat's been absolutely amazing tonight. You guys had lots of awesome questions and feedback and stuff in the chat, and lots of great conversations happening. Shout out to our buddy Pong Soul again, and make sure you guys check out Living Split Screen tomorrow morning with Steel Rain and Pong, and I'm sure they're gonna have a fire show tomorrow morning. And let's see, Psycho, where can everybody find you? Okay, Jasper, what about you?
Yo, check it out, Lord Jasper, Twitter, Master Jasper, YouTube, all that fun stuff. I got Boba Fett ship should be coming out later tonight. I got to record that after the show here. I already got like 8 ships up for Starfield stuff, so check that out if you want to or not. Doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, other than that, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, 10 o'clock right here on the Fun Speculation Network with FSP, Fun Pop, and Xbox Ultimate.
Right on, bro. Thank you, sir. Fuzzy Belvedere, where can everybody find you, sir?
Well, just want to start. Thanks for having me on. It was awesome being on here with you guys. Thanks to everybody in the chat joining us and interacting with us. Don't forget to hit the like button while you're here. For those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, in particular Starfield or Forza, just follow me on the app, formerly known as Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere. And then look forward to seeing you guys Monday night at 10 p.m. for FSP. Look forward to seeing you guys there.
Right on, bro. And Psychonauts is not.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I unmuted it the whole fucking time. Holy shit.
No. Where can everybody find you, bro?
Thanks for coming out, everybody. It was a fantastic Friday talking games with y'all. Shout out to Pong picking up the little one. But you can find me everywhere on social media, Psychonauts 8. You can find me Mondays at FSP at 10, Tuesdays, all new Fun Pop at 10, and here on Friday nights. So always Xbox Ultimate, shitting on PlayStation. No, just kidding. Having a great time with everybody here and talking Xbox news. It's a great time to be a gamer. So
yeah,
where can they find you, buddy?
Right here, right now, and here usually, and sometimes other places.
And here.
Yeah.
Here?
Fun Speculation on X and Fun Speculation here on YouTube. 4 shows a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Check us out, and we have a blast, and thank you all for being part of it. And I see that comment, Game Shark says, "Hey, Mav, I challenge you to a full playthrough of Baby Steps on a live stream when it releases." Hell no, but I will leave you with this. Have a great night, everybody. I ain't playing that shit on stream.
Ah, gross. Yeah. Okay, no problem. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, that might be a problem. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.